So this is Electrics video number 4, and what we're going to look at here is just finalising the status of the job and connecting the boards in order to compile the project with a view to exporting to the wiring program, which features in video number 9, importing from Electrics. So it's video 9 that you would ideally follow on after this one to see the sequence of taking your data from the floor plan and putting it into the schematic layout in the wiring program. So first of all, before we compile the project, we probably want to look at the status of the project. You come back from lunch, you don't know what's connected, what isn't. We've got a little option up here in display menu, unconnected loads. Anything that's unconnected is purple. Some of them are fairly obvious. If you can see here, you haven't got any cables connected to the lights. You can see they're connected, but anything that's in purple is effectively unconnected. So I'd need to make sure I allocate these lighting fittings to the movement sensor to allocate that load to the board. And then the next thing, once you've been through and made sure all your purple items are set up properly, there's a little light fitting there, a wall lighter there as well, stationary equipment load there. We would then close that option down, and then we would go and look at unmeasured circuits. So it's highly likely anything that's not connected will then be changed to unmeasured. So I can see here, I've got it looks like a stationary equipment load, probably a split system or something in that office. So I want to put a load on it from a board. So I would then go and run the cable from the appropriate board to that appliance. So it gives us a check before we compile the project as to which is connected, which isn't, what is measured and what isn't. What we would then do now is start connecting our boards into each other, because to create the hierarchy, the tree hierarchy of data, we need to know that the supply board is connected to the, I'll just zoom in a bit, that the main supply board is connected to the lighting and power board, the supply board connects to the HVAC board and all the other boards on the project. So it's merely a case of actually associating the board with the load. So you would do as we've done before with loads, select the supply board, insert switching, and you can see here the loads have already been allocated. So we've already allocated our lighting and power ground to this particular board. So all of the boards are connected in terms of the load and assigning the load to the board. What we would do now is interconnect the cable. So all I would do is having the LV supply board selected, go for cable lengths, select the board and run my cable. Any rises and drops again, connecting in, double click on the board, plus any other rises and drops on that. That means that cable is connected. So that will form the sub-main feed when we come into wiring from the main LV supply board to the first final distribution board. What we would then do on the edit menu, on the display menu, we then run the System Electrical Explorer, and that's then compiled all of that information, and that gives you a breakdown of all of the boards and what they're connected to. So there you can see on the LV board supply, we've got 1 dB1 lighting power ground, and we have a total load of 69.97 amps on L1, 70. So you've got the breakdown of the load on each phase. You've got the imbalance on that way number 1 to that distribution board, and likely in the same is way number 2, way number 3, etc. And then we can see the breakdown of each subsequent final board with the circuits, and that gives you shows you the lamp fitting type from the lighting database. In this case, this is a lighting circuit, so it gives you the lighting data, actually what you've connected into. So once this is actually compiled, you're then in a position to be able to export that into the wiring program, and as I said earlier on, that features in wiring video number 9, importing from Electrics.